So what does that mean for consulting firms? Well, the first thing is I think we're seeing an evolution of consulting services. If we go back 20 years, then most consulting services were quite generic, so they weren't focused on a particular sector, and they were also quite local, focused on a particular country. And what we've seen over the last 20 years is the evolution of some consulting services up in terms of the level of sector-specific content that's important to them, but also becoming more global. But the rate of change varies according to different consulting services. If you look at something like strategy, strategy is already a very global, perhaps the most global of consulting services. There aren't many clients these days who are buying strategy consulting who just want to look at a strategic issue in their own country. Strategy is all about the global footprint. IT also has been a very global service for some time, but again we're seeing the shift there in favour of more sector-specific content, tapping into clients' continuous demand for more expertise in their sector, more specialist expertise, a sense of world-class knowledge about what's going on. But there are some services which have historically been quite local and generic, and they still are today. And one of the changes I think we'll see over the next 2 or 3 years is the way in which they evolve in the future. And that's got important implications for the firms that work in that space. So HR consulting is driven by very local conditions. You've got employees in different countries and different regulations about employment. It also tends to be quite generic. So the service provided by consulting firms is pretty similar across different sectors. But we're already seeing evidence of multinational companies talking to the consulting firms in this space to say they'd like a more global offering, and an offering that allows them to look at the compensation benefits and structure of their organisation across many countries. Another interesting example is operational improvement, which is really the bread and butter of consulting, helping organisations improve the efficiency of their processes, helping them streamline the way that they work. Again, it's something that's been done quite often in a particular country, and increasingly clients are now saying we need this kind of process to be applied across many countries, if not globally. But there's a challenge as to how you make that work on a global basis. Do you always have the same process? Is it always about a standard process? Or can you introduce some degree of heterogeneity, allowing for different cultures working in different ways? If you'd like to buy a copy of the report or find out more about it, please get in touch.